We're gathered here today at the Church of God at 140 South Street in Jackson, Michigan. My name is Brother Lorano McCraney, and this is my lovely wife, Sister Evelyn McCraney. And we have a lovely couple before us, and we would like them to state their name.
My name is Sister Cynthia Boyer.
And I'm Brother Savory Boyer.
Where are you all from?
I am from New York. I am the first-born American to my Haitian parents.
And I'm from Haiti, born and raised, and I've been in the United States. I was 15 years old.
All right. So how long you been married?
19 years this year. We've been married.
And out of those 19 years, how many children do you all have?
We have 6 children. We have 5 girls and 1 boy. Wow.
Okay, we know that you all state that you're saved, and I told you before that I had a uncle that called himself saved, and we used to drink together, smoke together, and the next morning he'd go to church and he would preach. He was a pastor, and everybody around said they're saved. So what does save mean to you?
Well, saved means to me, I'm well acquainted with what you were saying, and I've lived with or known family members that have done that, and then I wanted something different, and I think being in the Church of God, I realized that being saved is actually separated yourself from sin.
Amen.
It's living the whole old life behind and actually having a new life, and that's what it means to me, is to no longer live in sin for life.
Where were you when you got saved?
When I got saved, I was in New York. I got saved in New York. I wasn't actually in the church at the time, but where I was attending church, I just noticed some things which were kind of questionable. And I felt, I feel God will lead an honest heart to the right place. And from there on.
Okay.
And what about you, Brother Boy?
Oh, I was
Where were
also
you?
in New York.
Okay.
When I had saved. God had dealt with me for a long time, and I was living in Florida, and I've gone different places, but my birthplace, where God saved me, was in New York City, and I've gone to many churches. We traveled, many Catholics and yoga and everything, but I found God, and when I was in New York, I was a youngster, and God blessed my life.
Real good. Now, the main point today, while we're here, we heard about this gold coin that came into your life. And we would like you to tell us the scenario, what surrounded your life at the time, and tell us about this gold coin.
Well, this is one of the many blessings that God has blessed our family with. This is one of the blessings that we've experienced throughout our life since we've been saved. And the reason why this one stand out almost kind of the most is because of the situation we're at the time. We're in a desperate situation. We had bought this property. God also blessed us with. And we have a outbuilding that was there in this little garage that we inherited the way it was. But for some reason, the township that where the property is started giving us some trouble for it, and even threatened to be in jail, for because there was so much garbage and it was really looking really terrible. And we didn't know what else to do. I wasn't even working at the time, and took us to court, and everything was just really going dark, and we didn't know what to do. So one morning, my wife and I came and called the family, and I had an idea. I just came from prayer and fasting and and then I had an idea. I told them, listen, we have a lot of trouble going on in the house, and I had an excellent idea. Why don't we do this? And I was thinking of doing a 7-day fast. And the way I feel like God would let me to do it is every day, since it's 8 of us in the house, but the baby is small. And I said, well, why don't we do this? Each one of us in the house will pick a day where we do a chain of fast. And then my kids were very excited, my wife was very excited, and we decided to go from there. And then we prayed and we asked God to help us out. And from there on, my wife started, and I guess she could continue the rest of the story from there.
We continued to fasting, and we prayed, and that was that. My husband eventually had another court date where they gave him a deadline of, I believe it was January 31st, I believe it was, of this year. That if, even though they realized that we acquired all of this stuff that was there, that if we did not find a way to clean it, that he would be put in jail. I believe it was for 3 months, and he would also have to pay a fine. And we were like, okay.
And also the township would clean it and still charge us
If that
for
was, yeah.
cleaning.
Either way, we knew that we could not afford to do it either way. So one day, my husband had come from work and the phone rang, so I picked it up. And this man said, I would like to speak to the man that was on the radio. So I was about to say wrong number. And I just happened to tell my husband, I said, somebody's on the phone asking to speak to someone from the radio. He said, oh, give me the phone. And after I gave him the phone, he told me, Cindy, somebody's coming over. And then he explained to me why.
Okay. Well, what happened that morning is I was making a stop at a Walmart, and it was raining very, very hard. It was raining. I said, oh, let me just sit in this car. I don't feel like getting away. Let me just stay in the car. And so I put the radio on, and then this guy was on the radio. He goes, oh, I'm coming in to work this morning. I don't have nothing to talk about in the radio station this morning. I need somebody to call me, and we could talk about something. In fact, you know, this is going to be a new year. Maybe you could tell me what you want to be done this new year. Maybe you got anything. Just call me. And I'm like, he's not serious, is he? I said, you know what? I'm going to call. So I called a number, and the phone really ringing. He picked it up. I was live on the radio. And he goes, well, what do you need? I said, well, you know what? You asked a question, and this been in my heart. I have a building, and I explained to him to the radio what's going on. And he said, okay. And I said, well, can I put my number? He said, you know, it's up to you. We're open air. If you want to put your number out there, it's fine. And I did. And this is how the day went. And the devil was like, well, look at this. You just made a fool out of you. Ain't nobody going to help you. And this is how, again, then my wife got the call. I didn't tell him anything because I didn't think really nothing was going to come out of it. But sure enough, this gentleman called, and he did stop by. And he came around and looked at the building with me. He goes, you know what? And he put his hand in his pocket and handed me this gold coin. And he goes, this is enough to fix that. And I'm like, so I looked at the gold coin. It was a $50 coin. Something $50. I can't do much with $50. This is, because we have called quite a few estimate people to come in. It was 5,000 and 3,000, and a good friend of ours said he can't do less than 3,000. So it was almost really, we knew it's gonna take a lot more than that to do this. So we get the gold coin, and then he got in his car and he left. So walk in the house, and I told him, this man just gave me a gold coin, and I don't even know what's going on. He said it would be enough to do that. So I guess that's what it is. But something about him was really, until today, I don't think if I hadn't seen him, I wouldn't recognize who he is, because it was such a quick thing. So what I told my wife, I said, I don't know this guy is coming in here, so do me a favor, take the camera and take pictures of whatever, the car, him,
It's in New York. And
me, I don't know who's coming in here, this guy coming from the radio, so please take some pictures. So he left, and then my wife, you know, took the coin from me, and then she just started inquiring and looking around and see what was going on. To find out, when we went to finally the next day we went to a jewelry. She said, well, why don't you go to the guy, there's a gentleman that does coins, specialized in coins, and he'll probably give you more of an estimate what it is. So we took it, in fact she called the bank said, we'll do you just whatever it's worth, $50. So I said, okay, so we went to the actual gold place, and the guy said, well, it's not what it's worth is the content that it's made out of. That's worth the money. So he went in and waited and came back and he said, this coin is worth $1,590.
It was 1 ounce pure
It was
gold.
ounce of pure gold.
Okay.
Wow.
And I was amazed that in the economy that we in here, this small town, that someone, I'm sure the guy knew what this thing was worth, and came in and offered it. I said, this got to be God. There's no way anybody would have known that anything like that could have happened. It just don't happen like that. Not in this economy where everybody's trying to put their money in. And from there on, we cashed it in. I'm like, well, Lord, I'm still praying in my heart, Lord, we got half. I know everybody's telling me 3,500, so I got 15. We got half. So where's the other half going to come from? What are we going to do? And so we usually are back and forth traveling, and there's a gentleman that is not too far from me. That's a big excavating thing with a truck in there. I said, I wonder what this guy is charged just to come by the house and see what can he do for me. So I stopped by. He wasn't there, so he called me, and he stopped by the house, and then and he looked at the whole thing, and I'm like, well, tell me what you think. He came back, and I think he gave us what, it was $1,000.
It was $1,000.
He said I could clean this whole thing for $1,000.
For the blessing.
I'm like, did you say $1,000? Because everybody else has been saying. So the guy came in and bought his trucks, bought excavating equipment. He did above and beyond.
So we gave him more. Since God blessed us with that, we felt it was only fair since he did more than we expected. We gave him
Right.
more.
And he went above and beyond. He took trees out, he leveled the ground, and that thing was so spotless. Until today, I don't think I ever broomed it. It was so spotless. Everything was clean. And to make it a more visual picture, I think he took maybe about 6 or even 7 of the big semi-truck dumps garbage out of there. That's how much garbage it was in there. It wasn't just a small dumpster. I think they said that would be equivalent to 2, the biggest dumpster that they had. That would be equivalent to 2 of that. That's how much junk that he had to take out. And that's how God ended up blessing us with fixing that. And then it just so happened that we're in Michigan. Remember, December, January are the coldest month, and this is the snowiest month of the year. And just so happened that week, it was so cold and frozen. It was really nice and warm, kind of. The temperature wasn't that bad, but the ground wasn't soft enough so the bulldozers could go back there and take all that junk out of the property. And the day the guy left, the day he was leaving out the last track, it started raining. And there's no way until maybe March or April he could get back in there again because the ground is too soft in my area that nothing else would have gone back there. So the last day he left, that night was so frozen, the ground was so hard, that I think even God blessed us with that for him to actually get in there, take everything out, and the last paddle out, it started raining.
Wow.
And once it started raining and that, there's no way you could go in there because he already dug the ground. So it was so muddy. We couldn't even walk in there, so it was so muddy. God helped us out. And again, it was before the date that I had to go to court. Remember, January 31st, I had to go to court. I think he's done the 28th or 29th.
Right before the court date.
Right before the court date.
My Lord.
And then, so the city now came and actually checked everything, took, I guess, pictures again. And it showed them to them that the pictures you took 2 or 3 weeks ago to now, everything was cleaned up.
Wow.
Amen.
And we went to court 31st, and the judge was amazed that he said that I heard about what you done. He said, I didn't know how you're going to do it. I knew you were a man of integrity, and I knew somehow it was going to get done. Because I guess he felt like he was put in a spot that he has to make a decision. But he said, I am so glad that I heard that everything was taken care of. And then that was the testimony that I got. But I don't know my wife, I'm more things that I forgot.
I just wanted to say that, like my husband said before, those are the many things that God has done for us. And it's just wonderful when you're saved, you're serving God, and you're doing all that you know to do. You find yourself in situations which are impossible, but some way, somehow, God always makes a way. Always.
And just to add this, the pictures my wife took, there's no picture.
Oh, my. Nothing but God.
There's no picture. These is bright lights. There's no picture.
My Lord.
And the man, we trying to call the number back that he called us in, there hasn't
Yeah.
been any answer. And I've never heard from
We
him
could
again.
never find him. Try to call
And I
him.
can even see his picture in the camera to even say I know who that is.
So we better be careful who we entertain.
Yes, yes.
Because you can be entertaining angels
That's
unaware.
right. Yes.
And that was a blessing. And now we have the story of the gold coin.
Go.
And from the Church of God here at 140 South Street in Jackson, Michigan, we want to thank the Boyers for their
Yes.
story.
Thank you.
And maybe we can come back again and hear about the UPS job. Thank God. God bless them with the
Yeah.
UPS job. And we really appreciate God
Yeah.
for it.
The Lord for
So you all appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.